Okay, I think we're live. Hello, hello. Happy Sunday, everybody. Hi, Janine. You are quick to be in the house this week. Well done, you. Today, we have got a slideshow. I haven't done one in a few months now, but I always love a good slideshow. I love a good bit of information. So, today, we're going to talk about 10 ways that we can quickly lower our inflammation. Now, why would we want to lower inflammation? Because inflammation hurts. Inflammation causes us pain. Inflammation drives lipedema. There's lots of reasons we don't want inflammation. And unfortunately, lipedema is an inflammatory disease. And if you're like me and you have thyroid disease as well, that is also an inflammatory disease. So inflammation has got to be front and center for me most of the time. I'm human, like everyone else. I'm trying to find or strike a balance of joy and being good these days, but it's not always easy. But I always keep an eagle eye out on inflammation and pain, because that's the thing that's going to make me decide how good I'm going to be on any given day, right? So anyway, let's get to the slideshow. All right, let me share my screen. And no, it's not that one. Hang on, we want a window. There we go. That's the one we want. Okay. All right. Everybody can see that, I hope, because I can see that. Awesome. I picked this photo of myself in Hanoi because, to me, this is what feeling inflammatory free or pain-free feels like, right? So that's why we've got a few photos in amongst it. All right, let's talk about number one, because there's a few to get through. Oh no, let's first talk about who I am, in case you're new around here and you don't know who I am and why you would possibly listen to me. This was me 3.5 years ago. So not all that long ago, and shows you that you can completely change your life and your outcomes and your health, in the blink of an eye. 3.5 years has gone by so quickly for me. And going from this to now this, and continuing to have surgeries and things like that to remove the excess skin and all that kind of thing. So I had a gastric sleeve in 2022, and that helped remove all fat that wasn't lipedema fat. Then I had arm surgery, and then I had a lower body lift and face and neck lift last year, like in December, so 3 months ago. And in a couple of months, I will be having a breast lift and a side lift. And in case you don't know what a side lift is, if you can see here, oh, sorry, wrong one. See here, it's the excess skin under your arm and that kind of thing. So while my belly looks lovely from the lower body lift, the breasts are rather flat these days, and under the arms and all that sort of thing spill out over my bras and things like that are the size that fit me. So it looks like I'm wearing bras that are like way too small for me, but they actually fit me, and the loose skin just hangs over. So that's the surgery I'm having in May. That's already booked in because I've healed so well from the other stuff. And we will continue on. Then the journey will continue on whether or not I do the lippy legs, right? So even though I can wear a size 8 Australian pair of jeans now and pants, it's like, oh, do I still want to have my legs done because there's such a big surgery, right? So we'll see. All right. So that's who I am. I've got Hashimoto's as well. I've had a double knee replacement, and lipedema was diagnosed when I was 45. I became a naturopath, a clinical nutritionist, and a herbalist along the way, and a kinesiologist and an emotional body release coach. So I've done all the things to try and help myself primarily. I always do things that I think, oh, how can this help me? And then if it helps me, I share it with you guys. So maybe it'll help you too. All right. Disclaimer. Always a disclaimer, check with your doctor, right? I talk about stuff that I've tried for me and tested for me and that I think is great, but we're also completely individual. So what works for me may not work for you. What works for you may not work for me. Always speak with your doctor, your practitioner, whoever that knows your full medical history and all the nuances around you specifically, please. All right, on to number one. I went in on a deep dive of the 10 best ways that had some kind of scientific backing and proof and studies around to lower inflammation the quickest. So these were the 10 that I found that all seem to have the best possible outcome depending on who you are and what your situation is. And surprisingly, breathing was number one on the list, because instantly when you deep breathe, when you breathe through your diaphragm, and so deep breathing and getting the air deep down into the lungs and exhaling correctly, you're instantly lowering instantly acts on the nervous system. So you're instantly lowering your cortisol, and cortisol is our stress inducing inflammation type mechanism, right? So cortisol will cause inflammation quicker than any food you could possibly think of. And if we could all just figure out how to lower our cortisol individually, because it'll be different for all of us, that would go a really, really long way to lowering inflammation. Yet we don't seem to think about it, do we? We think we go for the easily tangible or the easily tick-offable things that we can do. You know, what food can we eat? Tick. What exercise can we do? Tick, right? But we kind of like ignore the stress component, and it would be the biggest component of reducing inflammation. And I think that's why it's got to be number one on the list, right? So I don't go 10 to 1, I go 1 to 10. This, if you do nothing else, learn how to lower your cortisol. That will change so much for you, because we're all stressed, right? We're all stressed. We have a chronic disease that nobody understands unless they've lived it. Everybody thinks we're just fat and lazy. And so, of course, that's going to induce stress every single minute of every single day of our life. So this is the one that we have to work on the most. All right. Number 2, ketosis. Ketosis reduces inflammation. So being on a keto diet or a carnivore type diet, when you go into ketosis, it is actually anti-inflammatory. The ketones reduce inflammation. Often the first thing that women notice that go on a keto or a ketogenic diet or go into ketosis is the lowering of the pain levels, which is your inflammation. And that's often found or felt before weight loss. Okay, so which is really interesting, right? So a keto diet, if you're not already on one, so that's just a low carb diet. You could go really specific and do the keto diet. I just realized my little, I don't know if you can move where your little thingy is on the screen. I don't think you can, so you can't see my little graphic. That's a bugger. Anyway, so number 2, keto diet, low carb diet. And that's the main reason for the keto diet, not so much the weight loss, is the inflammation and lowering the pain levels. Okay, so while there is always a side effect of weight loss generally, or maintaining weight loss, the main reason for wanting to be in ketosis would be for the pain reduction and the inflammatory results that it produces, or the anti-inflammatory results. All right. And that was me eating a non-keto item in Hanoi, a banh mi, which I really enjoyed. Okay, number 3, mast cell stabilizers. Now, I talked about this a few videos ago on my histamine video. So if this interests you, head back and find that one. And what happens in our immune system is that our immune cells explode, or the guard dogs of the immune system explode and release inflammatory histamines, right? So we can get a buildup of these in our system, and they're inflammatory, right? So what we want to do is keep that down. However, I discovered on that other video that I did that taking antihistamines long term, potentially, there are some studies around this, but they're not definitive and there's a lot more to it, can cause weight gain over a period of time of taking an antihistamine. So it's not as simple as, oh, I'll just take an antihistamine every day, because that could have adverse effects down the line, right? It's a bit like, diet drinks that came out. They're great, but the studies have shown now if you drink diet drinks long term, you end up putting on weight, right? So the best mast cell stabilizer so that you can mop up all the histamines is vitamin C. And I actually take, this is the vitamin C that I take that I can get here in Bangkok. And it's like an effervescent, like a Berocca in any other country, and it's got nothing else in it. So no other vitamins and minerals, because you want to take vitamin C on an empty stomach straight away. Any of you out there with thyroid disease as well, if you take this with your thyroxine, if you take thyroxine, which I do still, it helps you to absorb the thyroxine better, which I only just discovered. Because surprisingly, my dosage of thyroxine has gone down 3 times since I moved here 5 months or 6 months ago. And I couldn't work out, there's bits and pieces that I'm drawing in as to why I have reduced. But the vitamin C increases your absorption if you take it with the thyroxine. So I don't take it exactly with it, because I chew my thyroxine sort of the minute I wake up. But then it's usually only about 5 or 10 minutes later that I have the vitamin C drink afterwards. So interesting, but it also helps mop up the histamines. So that is something to be aware of. Remove seed oils, and they're in everything, especially yummy things. Right, everything is fried in it. So removing seed oils is across everywhere now. It doesn't matter what camp of food you follow or dietary protocol you follow. Most people understand that seed oils are not good for us anymore. I've always learned, and I learned in college, that we need a ratio of 1-to-1 of omega-3 to omega-6s in ratio. Some studies are now suggesting we actually need 4-to-1, 4 parts, 1-to-4, sorry, 1 part omega-3 to 4 parts omega-6. Either way, it's a pretty, not very big ratio in so much as different sides. However, we're getting 1-to-20, so 20 parts omega-6s. And I've seen studies that suggest that we're getting up to 1-and-60, so 60 parts omega-6. And omega-6s in large amounts are inflammatory to the body. And the main source of this is the seed oils, because it's in everything, absolutely everything. There's just, unless you cook everything from scratch, make it yourself from proper raw ingredients, not like a packet cake. If you made a cake from scratch, you made the flour from scratch, all that kind of thing, then you're not going to be subjected to these seed oils. But if you get a packet mix of anything, any processed foods, anything in a box, any mixes, doesn't matter what it is, it will have seed oils in it. When I first got on this bandwagon back in Australia, I went hunting through my kitchen and I was astonished to find it in my herbs and spices mix. Why does my Tuscan herb seasoning need canola oil? Right? So I just found that really fascinating. Is any wonder we're also inflamed? So I would highly recommend, for a start, if you're still cooking in those easy oils, and I know they're easy, and as I always say, sing it with me, if you've been with me a while, convenience is killing us. It's really easy to cook with, right? The funny thing is, in Karratha, where we used to live in the northwest of WA, we had a table out on the veranda and a electric fry pan on there. That was our barbecue because of space. We didn't have space for a big barbecue, so that was our barbecue. And that table got really sticky and really horrible after a while, because we used to cook with not canola oil. What did we used to cook with? I'm going to say peanut oil or something like that. And when I swapped to lard and ghee and that kind of thing, all of a sudden, the fat that spilt out onto that table, you could wipe off easily. It didn't become this sticky, strange thing that you couldn't get off. So that was really fascinating to me, because I'm like, is that what's happening inside our body too? Possibly. I have no idea. But I just do know that this is the thing that we have to try our hardest to avoid any way that we can. So the starting point is cooking in animal fats, cooking in pure olive oil. Everyone says, what about olive oil? Yep, great, if you can be sure you're getting pure olive oil, because I've seen reports that there is not enough olive trees on the planet to support the amount of olive oil on our grocery store shelves. Most of them are cut with canola oils, seed oils, vegetable oils. So if it's expensive and in a dark bottle, I think you can, and imported from Italy, those sorts of places, I think you can assume they're legit. Otherwise, just be aware, right? I just don't muck around with it, and I cook in butter, I cook in lard, I cook in bacon fat that I save after I've cooked bacon. I just don't have olive oil in the house or anything like that, because it's just too hard to know to me, and it's just easier to do the other thing. All right, and get rid of all your processed foods if you can. All right, but that's a bit of a journey, right? Okay, next one. Oh, I've gone the wrong way. Here we go. Intermittent fasting. Now, I'm kind of like, when it comes to intermittent fasting, so this is me having breakfast on my birthday in February in Hanoi, and I enjoyed that breakfast very much. I'm not sure I could do intermittent fasting, and it's certainly not always recommended for people with thyroid disease. It can cause adrenal, like it can cause you to feel your body to go into famine and be a stressor on your body rather than being good for your body. But there are a couple of doctors, Mindy Peltz and Stacey Sims, I'm going to say, maybe even Dr. Boz, not sure, that talk about how to fast for females, which is a whole different ballgame, so that it's not an issue. But I thought about this a few times. I thought, you know how you go to bed sometimes because you've overeaten or whatever you've done? You always wake up feeling so much better because there's no food on your stomach. So there's no pain. Your body's got a break. Your body's had a chance to work on healing instead. So you kind of tend to feel good first thing in the mornings, or I do. And yeah, food does change that. So I've never played around with intermittent fasting, more so because I have always in the past really have struggled to eat enough, and I've played around with that as well. So, and the more I eat, the more weight I lose, which is really fascinating because, you know, for years, 30 years, I tried to eat less and less and less. So if you're going to try the intermittent fasting, check out those doctors and make sure you're doing it in the right way. Okay. Next one, pneumatic compression. Now, in case you haven't seen these are these things that you put on your legs, and they've got ones for your arms and your torso as well. This is from LymphoPress. I've taken this picture from LymphoPress. I know that's it had an Australian site, but whether or not that's a worldwide site, I'm assuming it is as well, so you can get them everywhere. Just make sure. I went to hire one of these once in Karratha, and it wouldn't fit my legs. That was before I lost weight. And so just make sure if you're going to go down this road that you get ones that will actually fit your legs before you invest in them, because they're rather costly things. However, studies have shown that 30 to 60 minutes literally evacuates fluid and swelling and pain from the legs. So, you know, it might be something worth investing in, especially if you're immobile. And, you know, it will help move the lymph and help get rid of the fluid causing the swelling and the pain and the inflammation. Next one, removing gluten and dairy. And here I am having an egg coffee and enjoying every mouthful. So leaky gut is one of the biggest contributors to inflammation, right? And there's a theory that lipedema is leaky lymphatics. So leaky stuff going into places they shouldn't be. The biggest contributors to the immune system going on high alert with the leaky gut is gluten and dairy. So the gluten, if you're not aware, is wheat, barley, rye. Oats usually get lumped into that, but oats have a different gliadin molecule than the other three. So a lot of people can tolerate oats that can't tolerate the wheat, barley, and rye. So, you know, maybe start with just cutting out the first three and see how you feel. And also the A1 dairy. I've seen, and certainly when I interviewed Dr. Keith, on Dr. Leslyn Keith on this. She said dairy is one of the big things that lipedema women should just avoid altogether. And for the most part, I do. And I know that it causes inflammation for me because I snore when I have dairy food. Actually, no, you know what? I lie. I snore when I have the cheese. I have milk most days now. Here in Bangkok, I seem to be able to tolerate the milk at all the coffee shops. I don't ask for oat milk or, almond milk or anything like that. I just have the milk and I seem to be fine with that. But when I have cheese, when I add cheese into the mix, I snore. So that obviously causes inflammation in my body. So anything like that you go, oh, I don't normally snore, but I'm snoring now. Think inflammation, not so much as like you're clogged up. It's like there's more things at play. So those would be a couple of things that you would consider. They are the sort of the big contributors to the leaky gut situation. There's obviously a lot more. There's a lot of cross-contaminators with gluten, the things that behave like gluten. Believe it or not, rice is one of them. So you've just got to use yourself as that crash test dummy and like peel it away a bit at a time and figure out for you what the issues are. All right. So, and maybe your starting point is getting rid of the A1 dairy, right? You can't see it behind my little thingy here. But I know in the supermarkets in Australia, I haven't looked for it here. I don't think I've seen it, to be honest, is get the A2 milk because it's a different type of dairy. So give that a shot and see if you feel any different, any better. Measure yourself, right? That's one of my biggest things with lipedema is having my trusty tape measure, because that will tell you more about inflammation on a day-to-day basis than perhaps your scales will, but I always track that as well. All right, supplements. Now, remember, all of these 10 that I found all have studies of some kind. Studies and science, it moves like the rate of knots, right? So it'll always change. The more we know, the more we know. But at this point in time, these all have, a reasonable amount of studies that say these are the quickest ways to reduce inflammation, all right? So supplements. The two in particular are diosmin and selenium. So selenium, I'm a big, cheerleader of because it also appears in the thyroid pathway like a multitude of times. It's one of the few things that reduces stress is selenium in our body, both, physical stress and emotional and mental stress. So you don't need to go and buy selenium in a supplement form. You can just have a couple of Brazil nuts every day. All right. I haven't even found them here, to be honest. I've been looking, but nuts and seeds here are actually pretty expensive, so I haven't found them yet. Diosmin you will need in supplemental form, and but they also strengthen your capillaries and your lymphatic vessels, which potentially are leaky, right? So, and a lot of people with lipedema have the vascular issues where venous return is a problem and that kind of thing. So if you've got spider veins and even varicose veins, that kind of thing, then I'd be looking at diosmin and selenium. Again, talk to your practitioner, talk to your doctor, the person who knows the most about your health, whoever you're comfortable with and who can look at all the other things that you're on and make sure that, if you took selenium, it's not going to cancel out something else that you're paying a fortune for. That's why you pay to go see a professional, right? People think you pay that it's all a load of hogwash and I can just go get it from the chemist. But the thing is, if you're taking this one thing that's costing you $50 a month and you go and add this other thing that's costing you $50 a month, they might be cancelling each other out and you're getting no good from them whatsoever. And paying $80 to go and see a, naturopath or whatever that can tell you, oh, no, you just saved yourself a year's worth of supplements, right? So that's why you go see somebody who can point out those things, who's studied for years and years to know this stuff, all right? So we need to utilize that as a tool and understand that it's in our best interest to get that professional help, right? We wouldn't take on the plumbing in our house without consulting a plumber. So this is the same thing. All right, so there's your supplements, diosmin and selenium. Vibration plates, number 9. So it moves your stagnant lymph, much like the pneumatic pumps, right? So it helps to activate the fluid removal, and less fluid means less inflammation. Less inflammation means less pain. So just be careful with these if you have skin sensitivities. So if you don't like somebody, brushing up against your skin, touching your skin, that kind of thing, and you have sensitivities like that, and I know a lot of women with lipedema do, then the vibration plate, because of the vibration, can make your skin feel very uncomfortable. You won't like it. Right? So if you've got that kind of skin and you don't like things up against your skin or strange textures on your skin, you likely won't like a vibration plate. And I would highly recommend that if you're thinking about getting one, that you see if you can get one on trial or rent or something like that, or go stand on somebody else's, or go stand on one in a shop before you invest in it, and make sure that sensation isn't a problem for you. All right. Otherwise, you will waste your money. Okay, vibration plate. And number 10, this one that I talked about earlier, is clearing out leftover histamines. So having leftovers in the fridge and eating old food. So old food, aged food, fermented food, all make histamines in the body. So this is key. So if you do like I used to do in Australia and have a big cook up and always have meat in the fridge ready to go, ready to grab, that could be problematic if your histamines are out of control. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Histamines may not be an issue for you. And if that's the case, don't worry about it. Keep doing what you do. But if you're finding that your histamines are out of control, and how would you know this? Take a couple of antihistamines. Yep, you don't want to take them long term, but take them over a week. And if you feel better, if you feel less inflamed, if you feel, less pain or whatever it is, then you can start to go, oh, histamines might be a problem for me. It would be just really interesting. And over a week, it won't hurt you. It won't kick into, causing long-term weight gain, that kind of thing. So that would be worth trying. And if that's the case for you, if you feel better for whatever reason, then you're going to have to look at, okay, any foods that are left over, you'll need to freeze them immediately. And I actually have started doing this since I did that last video on it. I was like, I need to pay attention to that. And so now I will buy chicken, buy pork, bring it home, cook it up straight away. And then as soon as it's cold, it goes in the freezer, ready, chopped up, ready for meals. So I don't muck around with having it in the fridge overnight, that kind of thing, so that I can remove as many histamines as possible. I used to eat sauerkraut in Australia, loved it. I haven't been having that here because I haven't found it, to be honest. Aged cheeses, as I said, I don't have it because I snore, and cheese is really expensive here. It's amazing how expensive things can make you just go, oh, well, I just can remove that from my diet. That's really easy. Right? So head that way if you think histamines are an issue, and that will help lower your inflammation. So here we go. There's the overall 10 science-backed ways to quickly lower inflammation. Number 1, let's go back over them. Your diaphragmatic breathing instantly lowers cortisol. Instantly. What other thing can do that, right? So in for 5, out for 5. There's another one called box breathing where you go in for 5, you hold for 5, you're out for 5. You might not be able to do 5 to begin with. Start with 3 and build up. And it's surprising how quickly you can build up to getting the deeper and deeper breaths. So so number 1. Number 2, going into ketosis lowers pain, lowers inflammation. Mast cell stabilizers, a natural one. So quercetin is in there as well, but vitamin C, easy. Everybody knows vitamin C. Okay, make sure you get a pure one, and 1,000 to 5,000 milligrams a day. Seed oils, get rid of them. Go and throw them out. Don't even give them to your worst enemy. Give them away. Give them away. Put them in the bin. Intermittent fasting, make sure you check out if it's suitable for you. All right. If you've got thyroid issues, really check out Mindy Peltz, Stacey Sims, Dr. Bowles, those sorts of people that talk about intermittent fasting for women. The pneumatic pump for moving your lymph around. Leaky gut, get rid of any triggers that might be causing you problems. Start with gluten and A1 dairy. See how you feel. Vascular sealants, so strengthening your capillaries and arteries. We're using diosmin and selenium. Brazil nuts is the easy selenium answer there. Whole body vibration, so your vibration plate, just make sure if you have sensitive skin that you test it out before you buy one. Oh, and with your pneumatic pump, test out that the legs fit you before you hire one, buy one, whatever. And fresh is best. The number 10 rule is have all your food fresh. And that is the roundup. Let me stop that. All right. So that's our 10 quickest science-backed ways that I could find, the quickest ways to lower inflammation. Pick one, nail that one, move on to the next one. All right. Pick the easiest one. Your breathing. It's free, right? It's free. Everyone can breathe. Everyone needs to breathe. So that to me is the easiest step forward for lowering cortisol. And as I said earlier, we tend to ignore the inflammation caused by cortisol, which is caused by stress. Right, we're also focused on the, where can we get a pump, or what kind of oil can I use? Can I cook with olive oil? All of these sorts of things, when one of the biggest issues that we all have as human beings is our stress levels. So your breathing could be the easiest way forward for lowering your inflammation. And the rest are all pretty self-explanatory, but it's different for everybody as to what's doable for everybody, right? So you might be able to stop the seed oils and start cooking with lard and ghee, but, affording to go and buy vitamin C in an appropriate form is not in your financial capacity. So pick the things that you need to do. And I'm just going to put it back up for a sec. So screenshot this. If you're on a phone or something, screenshot it. So that you can remind yourself. And I wish I could take away my little box. I have to check into that. All right. So I'm hoping everyone screenshot that. And do the things one at a time that you can do, right? Because inflammation is got to be high on our list of always addressing every single day. How can we lower our inflammation? Once you get on top of it, for the most part, you'll be able to have things here and there. I can eat the bread in holiday time. I can go have the egg coffee and the whatever, because I have gotten past, I have done the hard work. It is hard work to stay in maintenance and to stay with all that gone, but I watch it very closely. And if things started to go in the wrong way, I'd be pretty quick back to the pure rules again, so that I didn't go back in the other direction, because I ain't ever going back to, let me just go back so that you can see this. I ain't ever going back to this young lady here. She was completely sad and unhappy. So that's never, we're not going back there as much as I can help it for myself. So we're going to keep moving forward. We're going to keep transforming, and we're going to do this section next, and then we're going to think about what we're doing down here. But please know that you can do anything. All right. It just takes a little bit of time, one step in front of the other, and you can reduce your inflammation and your pain as well. So that's all I have for you this week, unless there are any questions. And I figured there would have been questions along the way if there was any, and there doesn't seem to be. So on that note, let me know if there's anything down there that you already do. Do you do the pneumatic pumps? If so, what brand do you use? Tell other people that, because I'm actually looking at that now, thinking, my husband's a runner, so his knees are starting to give him a little niggle. So I'm thinking a pneumatic pump might be good for both of us, right? So if you already have one of those, let everybody else and me know what you've got, where you got it from, all the details, please, all the details, and the vibration plate, all of that sort of thing. Share whatever your experience is, because that will help others and it will help me, and we can all help each other then. So that's it for me. Have a great week. I hope you all saw my egg fast video that I put up last week. It had a different thumbnail on it, so it's not my usual thumbnail. So I hope you enjoyed that one of my 3-day egg fast. I have got more fasts underway. Janine, how are you going with your water? That's one that's underway, and I've got another exercise one in mind. So I've got time, I've got space for another one, potentially 2 challenges before my next surgeries at the end of May. So I will be heading down that road and filming those for you as well. So we'll see what happens. All right. Have a great week, everybody. And I will see you this time next Sunday night. Bye.